Today on Car Traction we're at the Crewe Heritage Centre again for their monthly classic car meet. Actually there are a lot of modified cars here. A couple of Beamers over there, quite a few Vauxhalls, Hyundais, Audis. Then as usual we've got a few British classics. In the building over there you probably can't see them, but there's a Moggy, Ford Cortina, an A35 and I think a Zodiac, and of course there are a lot of American things. Mum's coming in the MX-5 and we're in the Ford Anglia. We were in convoy on the way here, a very slow convoy actually. We're parked next to this Vauxhall Viva, but I think first I'll head over to the entrance and film some of the cars coming in. Beyond the Mercedes 190 we have a Lotus Elan coming in. That's a very cool little sports car, haven't seen it before. A Maestro has also just arrived with a Sierra behind. That sounds very cool. Another one of the Vauxhalls now. Turbo. With my eagle eye, I spot a few classics in the distance. Some straight six noises. And a big Cadillac behind. That sounds good. So does that. So many things are happening. The Triumph TR6. We've got an MGTF and some sort of Alpha. I think it's a 2000. We've also got what I think is a Renault 21. I'm not brilliant on my 90s cars, but I think a Renault 21. Let's see if I'm right. I haven't seen this one before. Oh, I was right. Renault 21. E-Type rolling in as well. Series 2, that one. A very modified Ford Pop. And a Plymouth behind. Vauxhall Viva HA. Little Rover. A Ford Fiesta. Another Ford. Oh wow, an R32. I love those. I've seen that one before, but it hasn't been to this meet. Oh, I love the sound of those. We've got a BMW 5 Series, or 7 Series, sorry. 7355 3.5 litre engine, most likely a straight 6. I absolutely love that R32 Skyline GTR. That's to be one of my favourite 90s cars, JDM cars. Absolutely love the R32. R33 I also like, but R32 has to be my favourite. Another Triumph TR6. This one's a regular to the meet. The blue one I haven't actually seen before around any other shows in this area. I've seen this one a few times. More JDM goodness now. We've got a Toyota Sora. One modified MX-5 with a wider track, and a second modified MX-5, this time a Mark 1. They must be quite a lot of fun. Look at the size of the exhaust on that Toyota. Wow. Nice to see a Mark 1. An Audi and then a Vauxhall. I think that's got a locked diff because I can hear the tyres sort of screeching a bit when he's turning, so maybe it's a little bit of a drift car. Wow. The other white MX-5. Nice to see something classic again. We got a Triumph Dolomite. Oh, it's a Dolomite Sprint, please forgive me. Then we got a Maestro. A third Triumph TR6. There seem to be a lot of them going here today. Another new car to the Crewe Heritage meet is this Toyota MR2. We've got some revving from the Audi TT. Real brave wheels on that. That looks very good lowered. The MR2 sounds brilliant. Must have had some sort of fancy exhaust on it. This is a car that needs absolutely no introduction. Although you can't really see it yet, probably. Wow. And it's modified. What? I've never seen a modified Reliant Robin before. That thing's crazy. Side pipes. Wow. That sounds quite purposeful. Another very large piece of Americana. And a Subaru. And a Porsche 944 behind that. And then something else which I can't quite see yet. I think it's... yeah, I think it's a Firebird. There goes the Porsche 944 S3, I should probably add. Then went the Pontiac Firebird. Very cool shape. Then a little Lotus. Right, so a quick look inside. We have the glorious Mark 1 Cortina. That truly is a lovely, lovely car. Absolutely mint. Such a cool shape. I know the owner of this car, and also if you looked at the last video, he also brought his Mark 1 Ford Escort, which also has a Lotus tuned-up engine in it, and they're just fantastic cars. Such a cool shape, great sound. Got the Subaru coming in. Muggy Minor 1000. I like the little wicker basket on the back. Very usable little classic car. Then next to that we have the Austin A35. One way to tell A30s from A35s, A30 was the earlier type and the A35 was later, is that the A35s have a larger rear window, a different rear light setup, and they also have a painted grille instead of a chrome grille on the A30s. Also got some Marlin, yeah, kit car, 3.9 Rover V8. And we have a sporty looking Mini, the number 15 on the side. That is one jazzy number plate. Wow, it's like a disco. Then we have another regular, a TVR, that's a Triumph. The very nice looking twin exhausts there. Then what's this here? It's a Hyundai Coupe. Oh, sorry, it's an MG Coupe. Then we have the very cool sounding Sierra. That sounded very, very purposeful. On the way in I can hear some V8 idling outside there. Not as many American things actually here as last time. Another British classic, the Vauxhall Viva HA. This sounded quite fruity as well. I remember last time I filmed it leaving the show. Ford XR3i. Quite a desirable car now the XR3i's are. Then we have the fantastic looking lowered MR2. I think that looks really, really cool lowered like that, especially with those wheels. That must be a lot of fun. It's got, I think, what the Americans call the T-top roofs. And then, the absolutely crazy Reliant Robin. This thing is so mad. Got the bonnet scoop there for its, no doubt, V8 engine. We've got something coming in. What's that? Wow, that is massive. I don't know what it is. Is it a Wartburg or something? I'm not sure. Oh right, a Ford Edsel. You just don't see Ford Edsels anymore. That is a very, very rare car. I think I've only ever seen one other Ford Edsel. That is a very, very, very rare car. They didn't sell one at the time, so they're really, really scarce these days. I think they're a really cool design, but the public didn't like them at the time. That is a super, super rare car. Yeah, I think they look really cool. But obviously they didn't prove to be getting in the sales for Ford during the 50s. I guess there are so many other massive American cars, I guess there maybe just wasn't demand for it. I don't know, I haven't read up on it that much, but I think it should have been way more popular than it actually was, because it's just such a great design. Similar to a lot of massive Ford or Chevys or whatever, Chrysler, all sorts of American things. Pretty similar, although it's probably even bigger, but I think it should have sold so much better because it's such a cool car. That's definitely one of my favourites from the show. Moving on from the gorgeous Edsel, we have the Austin A35 and a Consul. Don't see many of these. Ford Consul Mark II. Oh, I like the leather straps on the Mini. And the flared arches. No, we're talking about the Consul. Very similar to the Vauxhall Cresta, a British car with the American chrome design. So you can see it there when it was bought, before the restoration. After the restoration, looks very nice. It's got the little visor thing, also very American. The Ford Consul Mark II was introduced in 1956 along with the Mark II version of its biggest six-cylinder brothers, the Zephyr and Zodiac. The Mark II Consul engine was the four-cylinder unit from the Mark I, but with an increase in capacity from 1508cc to 1703cc. Apart from the saloon model, the Consul Mark II was also available as a convertible or as an estate. These estates were in actual were, sorry, I can't read. These estates were in actual fact saloons that had been converted by the coach building firm Abbott of Farnham. In 1957, a console deluxe was introduced with improved interior trim, and in 1959 there were some styling changes which included a lower roofline. The console became known as Console 375 in 1961 to distinguish it from Ford's new but totally unrelated Console Classic. Ford ended production of the Mark II console in 1962. There you go, a little background on this car. Then we have the very, very nice Lotus Elan. Very nice dashboard in there. Must be great little fun. Great little sports car, that. Something a bit larger now. Triumph TR6 2.5 litre injected straight 6 engine. Triple carbs on that, wow. Sounded very good on the way in. And then we have a very nice MG, is it the TD? It's not a TF because I think those are the ones where the lights went into the wings, but I'm not quite sure, but I think it's a TD. Very popular macho little sports car in the 1940s. I think we had the Ford Fiesta in the end. And the Subaru. Then we've got the 3 caravans, oh sorry no, not caravans, ice cream vans here. We've got the Bedford CF 500 weight Thames little van. And the Mini. Going to have a closer look at this Subaru. So how did you get hold of this Subaru?
So I ordered it in 2007 from Ian Litchfield at Litchfield Imports, and took a few months to arrive on the ordered it and took a few months to arrive on the boat from Japan. Ian sent me pictures of it on the docks at Japan waiting for the boat, and it arrived in June 2007.
Oh, so you've had it for a while then?
Yeah, I've had it since then, yeah.
Oh right, cool.
It's done about 26,000 miles now, so it's quite low mileage.
Oh right. So what does the difference between any other STI Impreza and then the Litchfield one, is there any sort of engine tune-up or anything?
So Litchfield is the importer, they imported direct from Japan, and it's the Spec C version, so it's a lighter weight, developed for
I see.
motorsport and rallying, so it's much lighter body panels, very light doors, not much sound deadening.
Oh right.
And it has the roof intake for when it's used for motorsport and rallying. And
cool.
It's the all black interior. It's the this is the 2 litre engine rather than the 2.5. So standard it was 320 brake horsepower, and I added the Blitz intake and the Blitz stainless exhaust.
Oh cool.
And it was part of the deal with Litchfield was to map it after 1,000 miles. So after 1,000 miles, took it back to Litchfield and they put it on their dyno and they remapped it to about 334 brake horsepower.
Wow.
So
cool. So it's the flat 4, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. They sound really cool, I think.
So this is the 2 litre engine
Yeah.
rather than the normally imported 2.5 engine. And it's got the Blitz dump valve.
It's really cool, that.
And it upgraded to tying suspension all round. That was done about 3 or 4 years ago.
So it must handle pretty well then.
Yeah. And it's got the updated Porsche calipers.
Oh, I didn't see those, yeah. And Pro Drive wheels, they did the 22B rally, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah, Pro Drive.
Yeah, and so the options were the wheels. They're only 18-inch, but which these days is quite small. But in the day, it was about right.
It must be a lot of fun to drive.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you get to many places in it? I remember seeing it at Alton Park the other day.
Alton Park is the main place it goes, because I'm a season ticket holder at Alton Park.
Oh, right,
so
cool.
That's where I spend most of my weekends. Track days at the moment, and the first race meeting is on Saturday for bikes.
Alright, cool. So it was very kind of the owner to let me have a seat and a bit of an insight into this very interesting Impreza, which is actually the Spec C, the tuned up version a bit more. It's got all new suspension, new air filter, all sorts on it, Porsche brakes. It's very, very tuned up. He said that it was really planted because of the upgraded suspension, and of course being a Subaru 4-wheel drive. So yes, a very, very cool car. I've seen it at Alton Park a couple of times. I was talking to him off camera for a bit, and he said that he likes taking a few photographs and a few videos of these motorsport events. So hopefully I'll see him again sometime. A few more things have arrived. We've got a Jag, a very tuned up Audi, and an MGB rubber bumper over there. Hello, we've got a Fiat 500 Cinquecento. Oh wow, we've got a lovely Riley over there. Didn't see that coming in. We've got another regular, the diesel swapped Ford. I haven't seen this before. That is a very, very nice looking car. Riley 9 Monaco. Very, very tiny. I absolutely love the shape of this little Riley. It's a gorgeous car, that 1934. Brass headlamps as well. Something a lot larger, this Ford Ranger pickup F250. Oh, it's a bit larger than that. And then we have another big pickup. This one looks very cool, the Patino or Patina, depending on how you want to say it. Hello. Oh, massive Chrysler. And the Triumph Stag behind. Pillarless coupe. I think he's going to try and squeeze it into here. So the Triumph Stag is going to back up. And then I think this is going to come down here, which may be a bit of a squeeze for something so big. We'll see. The sign's getting in the way. Got the old Route Master bus as well. That's a permanent exhibit. I haven't actually mentioned it in any of the videos previously. A bit narrow. Look at the fins on that. Massive. I can only just fit it in one shot. Another V8, a Triumph Stag.
Head on down, sir. Head on down.
One of the organisers' cars, this Cadillac with a very, very noisy V8. Sounded fantastic when he was doing some fairly prompt reversing quite quickly down here. Very iconic design. In the bright green, really pops out and stands out, especially with the modern wheels as well. And then we've got a Chevy van thing. Is there a name for this sort of car? I don't really know. We've got a few more of these types of things over here. The lowered Toyota Soarer with a massive exhaust. It sounded fantastic. I think it's a really, really cool shape, especially lowered like that. Very cool. Oh wow. An RS500 Cosworth. That is very, very rare. Ford Sierra Cosy. Wow. Look at the spoiler on that. That's a very cool car. Triumph TR6. next to a BMW 735i7 Series 3.5 litre straight six engine, I presume, automatic. Then we've got a Beetle, didn't see this one coming in. Fairly tuned up, got the cosmic wheels that were usually on Minis, but they've been enlarged for this Beetle. Really suits the black paintwork actually. That air-cooled engine, of course, in the back. That must be quite a little bit of fun. A pair of Ford Fiesta STs. Oh no, the Lotus Elan's leaving already.
Look at that car.
Yeah, that's a TR6.
I think he's actually just relocating. If you wanted to get a closer look at that, and especially it leaving the show. Right, back to here, we'll have a look at this Austin Allegro Vandenpla. Vandenpla obviously referring to the slightly different front. Got the Vauxhall Impreza, then another regular, this Vauxhall Viva, proper British classic. Us in the E494A Ford Anglia, and Mum in the Mazda MX-5 Mark 1, California of course. One of only 300 made. I can't remember the exact number actually. This is number 229 of 300. They made the Mercedes 190. Mini. A Rally Chopper. And the Austin Allegro. Well, the Fiesta ST's doing things. Alright, so I'm going to have a chat to the owner about this Maestro. So how did you get this car?
I got this car, a fella messaged me saying that he had a Maestro Turbo Diesel for sale and that I'd be interested in it. Anyway, we went to Bristol to have a look at it. Anyway, as we looked around it and that, we noticed it was from originally where we're from, starting. Looked around the car and that, noticed that it was quite solid and that. Put a batch on it, started straight away. So arranged the price with him and bought it.
Ah, cool.
All it needed for an MOT was 4 new tyres and that was it. It's done 86,000 miles. Engine's original engine in it, that's never been touched.
So what sort of engines were they available with, the other models of Maestro?
You had the 1.3 A series, you had a 1.6 S series, you had a 1.6 R series, which was before the S series. They had to change that because they had overheating problems. Then you had a 2 litre O series, which was in the MG Maestro.
Oh,
then you had a 2 litre non-turbo Maestro, and then you had a 2 litre turbo Maestro. The turbo obviously is better because you've got more power.
So the MGs were the tuned up ones, like the Metro MG.
That's it, yeah, like the sporty version. Yeah, you had an MG Maestro Turbo as well, which was one of the fastest cars in the 80s. Used
Cool,
to do
yes,
0 to 60
yes.
in 6 seconds, I think.
So do you do a lot of shows in it? Looks quite usable.
Yeah, I do a lot of shows. Yeah, this is the first time this one's been shown, but I've got other Maestros and Montegos, and we go to about roughly 20-30 shows a year. Yeah.
Alright, because I guess these aren't looked on very positively because a lot of people remember them in the 80s being a bit rubbish because I guess British Leyland cars aren't
that desirable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people like them. I think they have their own interest just because they're so rare.
Yeah, they're so rare, yeah. And like most people that say that as well have never owned one, but if you've owned one of that, a lot of people obviously would change their mind then about them because, like, say, I've never broke down or caught the AA or anything with these cars.
Yeah, it looks pretty usable.
Yeah, have a look inside.
Oh, okay.
Inside.
Very 80s style interior, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
all plastic.
I guess it's nice having the sort of buttons and knobs to turn instead of like
everything's there, like,
instead of just a screen.
And the common problem with these Maestros as well is the dash. If you can see on the top, the dash always cracks and lifts up.
Oh right, yes, I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's quite rare to find a Maestro where it's got a cracked dash.
Yeah, I guess it probably is quite rare. And of course you got the chopper here as well.
Chopper, yeah. I'm its second owner from new 1976. This is Mark II.
Oh, right,
All original.
Cool.
The guy had this for Christmas when he was, I think it was actually the same age as you actually when he had it. Yeah, got that from Birmingham. That was from.
Oh right, cool.
Just polished the chrome up on it, and a lot of people respray it, but there's only original ones, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah. Well, exactly. If it sort of works, if there's no sort of huge spots of paint off, there's nobody sort of rubbed primer on it like this. It doesn't need repainting. So is this the original paint on this one?
That's original paint, yeah. Nightfire Red, it's called.
Yeah, I think it's just right in this sort of condition, because then you don't have to worry about not using it at all and keeping it clean, so you can actually use it as a bit of a daily or go to places in it.
I do use it daily.
Yeah, yeah. What's the story with the wheels? They look a bit different to...
Yeah, I put these originally off an MG, these are. MG Maestro.
Oh yes, yes, I remember the design now, yeah.
Like originally it should have 14-inch steels on it, but it drives a bit better with the 15s on.
Right, cool.
Where you drive, yeah?
Then we have the yellow Alfa Romeo 2000. Very kind of the Maestro owner. I've talked to him a few times in the past few Crewe Heritage shows to let me have a look around his car. It's not concours, clearly, but it's in very usable condition. You can use it as his daily, and you don't have to worry about getting it too dirty. Back on the Alfa, it's such a beautiful, beautiful car. Such a cool design, I think. Then we have a Triumph Spitfire Mark III with overdrive. I like the black mini lights, that works really quite well actually. That must be a lot of fun. Dad used to have a few Triumph Spitfires that he built up, and one of them had a 2.5 litre engine out of a TR6 or a TR5 in it, which was quite wayward because the Spitfires and the Heralds had a bit of a weird suspension where if you lifted it off the ground, the wheels would sort of tilt in like positive camber, which made it quite snappy. So that must have been a lot of fun. Similar car to the Maestro here. We have another Metro, British Leyland of course. Another Renault 21, this time the 21 Turbo, twin exhaust. Wow, you just don't see these. So rare cars. It's a very good turnout of obscure cars here today, because we've got the other Renault 21 over there. Another regular is this MG rubber bumper in bright yellow, similar to our MX-5 down there somewhere. Triumph Dolomite Sprint actually. Next to another Maestro, another Triumph TR6. And last we have a Jaguar XJ40. I think these are a really cool design. Ford Capri with engine on show. This is a very clean example of this one. This one with the 2.8 engine. And we have the TVR Tuscan S. Very, very cool car. Oh, why have we got Mark II F-Sport? That looks a bit racy. Back to the TVR. I think these have something like a 4 litre straight 6 engine. Very, very good sounding engine. Mini Cooper. 1600 Sport. We have a Daimler Sovereign, I think this is a Mark II, I'm pretty sure. a very colourful Mazda MX-5. I think this is a Mark II. I think this paint job is meant to be like a retro type of the Mazda Le Mans car. I can't quite remember the name, but it was a rotary engine Mazda. That was a Le Mans type car. That's a really amazing sounding thing, but I think that's what this livery is meant to be. It's all very sporty and cut back in there, saving a bit of weight. Then once again we have the Ultima Can-Am, a 6.3 litre V8, rear wheel drive, no assistance, no traction control, ABS, nothing like that. Proper traditional racing car. You can hear something revving, a Lexus IS200. A drag racer type Ford Pop, so an exhaust at the back. Then we have the Series 2 E-Type, very cool car, 4.2 litre straight six. Now we're in the modified section. We've got the Lexus IS200, a few Fiestas, a lot of Vauxhalls, got engine on show, very bright engine, got an Audi. All sorts of modified cars there. Quite a sporty looking Jag. Gonna have to squeeze through here because we've got a bit of a train going on. BMW M2. BMW N5. This is very cool. This one of the older BMWs here. An Audi, another Audi, oh, with the little motorbikey thing. I remember this. So we've got the Audi S8 V10, wow. And then we have a Vauxhall and a Skoda that's been banging his tunes out of his huge speaker setup. Lots of modified vehicles here today. A very unusual people carrier. A Transport GT. Look at those wheels, wow. Right, what now? We've got a big Chevy pickup. Wow, a Ford Model Y. I love these. These are so cool. I really love the cute designs of these. Pretty small engine, 4-cylinder, all it needs. Really original condition. I think these cars should be left like this. This is absolutely beautiful. This has to be one of my favourites, definitely. They just look so good with the patina on them. That is very nice. That. Mustang SVT Cobra. Then we have a slightly older, well actually quite a bit older Ford Mustang. There you go. A big Chrysler that took some manoeuvring in. Pillarless coupe. Nissan Skyline GTR R32. Proper bit of JDM there, one of my favourite JDM cars, definitely. Something started up. The E-Type may also be departing. Sorry, no, they're not leaving, or at least the Ford Pop isn't. They're just rearranging because there's a Corvette trying to come in. Or at least I think. Beyond the Edsel down there, we have a Triumph Stag and a Ford Galaxy. I think there's actually another one here, but this one's a convertible. Absolutely massive thing. Then we have a Triumph TR3. Very sweet little British sports car. Maestro tuned up engine on show. Well, it's very light in the back, got a racing fuel tank as well. Then we have the Ford Sierra Cosworth. I think these are really, really lovely cars. Very desirable car, these. Purposeful, tuned up looking Wolseley Hornet. Very tuned up engine, of course, transverse, meaning that it's facing towards the side. The Mini was one of the first cars to have the engine side on, as you can see there, and now most hatchbacks and modern cars do that. So it was really a pioneer, the Mini and the Wolseley Hornet. The Wolseley Hornet being basically a Mini but with a bit of a boot on. A few motorbikes, a Porsche, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Harley Davidson, and Harley Davidson, and a Ford Galaxy 500. Wolseley 1500 have just come in.
They're really just as popular, if not more popular now.
An Audi R8 has just rolled in. Wow, we're getting all sorts of cars today. The Toyota Soarer is running. Moggy Minor coming in now. Just look at how many cars there are here today. It's an insane turnout. I guess the weather forecast is pretty good, so everybody knew that they'd be alright in their convertibles. This Audi R8 V10 will be brilliant if we get it leaving the show. Lovely sound, 5.2 litre V10, same engine as some of the Lamborghinis. We've also got this Moggy Minor 1000 and a very early Carmen gear. Triumph TR6 leaving now. Cars are still rolling in. We have this Zodiac. Tuned up Metro leaving now, and the Vauxhall Viva HA behind. don't head off just yet. Here's a really quick preview of a future video where these cars will be leaving this show, which will be uploaded very, very soon.